right here on TV 47. I trust that you are well. The top 3 picks just for you. Tonight, 12 out of 19 bodies pulled from one grave today in Shakahola, as Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua asks churches to cooperate with the task force set up to regulate churches.
Kwa hivyo that information makanisa mnaulizwa ni ya kusaidia tujue kanisa yako ni gani, imekuwa registered, we have a record, so that as government tujue who is who.
Also tonight, push and pull over the finance bill escalates.
Tumesema ushuru mkitaka tuelewane. Unataka kutoza mtu ushuru ili ujenge yeye nyumba. Ulize yule ambaye anataka nyumba.
As the government allies in parliament affirm that the bill will sail through.
The fact that government does not lose, I also want to assure you that even the finance bill will pass.
Plus, Nakada raises the alarm over the increasing number of young children being exposed to drugs.
The report is giving us a red danger warning sign to say things are not good.
With Western Kenya leading in abuse of alcohol.
Being the most consumed in that area, and the level of poison in this is very bad.
Rodanyama is on the sign language interpretation. I'm used to Stanley Irungite. In the next 30 minutes, I'll be updating you what is happening in the country and beyond. And later on, we'll be getting into some entertainment as we do every single Friday. Now tonight, investigators at the Shakahola forest have exhumed 29 bodies, the largest number to be exhumed on a single day. The detectives are getting deeper into the forest, even as Mackenzie supporters are said to have changed tact.
The more the exhumation bodies in Shakahola forest continues, the more horror gets unearthed in the incident that continue to shake the nation. This afternoon, investigators pulled out 29 bodies, the highest number of bodies recorded in a single day since the exhumation exercise began, rising the death toll to a staggering 179.
And today, they have been able to exhume 29 bodies. The arrests still remain at 25. Those that have been rescued remain 72. Those that have been reunited with their families remain at 14. DNA samples 93. We continue receiving those that are reporting their people, that they have been or missing people on our desk.
Investigators have gone deeper into the forest and are now searching for graves closer to where controversial preacher Paul Mackenzie resided inside the forest and where it is believed are more bodies. Police says Mackenzie's followers who still live in the forest have devised new tactics to beat authorities and have learned the authorities' pattern. So far, 600 people have been reported missing, with 14 families reunited with their kin who have been rescued from the forest. No person was rescued today.
Hatuchapata mtu yeyote leo, lakini kwa sababu ya ule umbali tumeanza kuenda kutoka mahali tulianzia, bado hizo maofisa wako kichakani, na tunatarajia kwamba ikielekea usiku wa manane watakuwa wanarudi, ndio timu nyingine tena iweze kuelekea asubuhi.
Duncan Mtua, TV 47.
Right, and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is now urging churches to cooperate with the government to ensure Kenyans are not misled by dangerous ideologies spread by cults and sects that are mushrooming in the country. Speaking at the celebration of life of Mr. John Ndungu Njoroge, father to Juja MP George Koimbura, Rigathi urged the pastors and church leaders to help the government weed out rogue preachers. This comes in the week of the Shakahola massacre, which has seen 179 bodies exhumed at the Shakahola forest and 609 people reported missing.
Our pastors are good people. Majority of them, 99.9%. allow government to wind up the 0.1% that is giving the Church of Christ a bad name. Kwa hivyo that information mechanism mnaulizwa ni ya kusaidia tujue kanisa yako ni gani, imekuwa registered, we have a record, so that as government tujue who is who. Because iko wengine sasa wakora wanashika Biblia wanatumia hiyo kutafuta pesa na kufanya maovu. But I want to confirm that our constitution guarantees the freedom of worship, and President William Ruto and I took the Bible before God and men and swore to defend and uphold the constitution. We shall guarantee to the letter the freedom of worship. Ningetaka kuhakikishia makasisi wetu wote na kanisa zetu zote, hakuna mtu wako na vita na kanisa hata kidogo. Ile iko watu wawili watatu kwa maelfu ya makasisi ambaye ni wahalifu na wanatumia kanisa kutenda maovu. Hao watachukuliwa hatua kisheria.
Tonight, you and I, the taxpayers, could be on our own as far as the finance bill is concerned. President William Ruto's allies in parliament have voted to pass the bill that could put a strain on the already struggling Kenyans, quote, no matter how unpopular. Paul Muniu reports.
If the sentiments made by the government-allied MPs during the launch of Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale's book are anything to go by, Kenyans are on their own in regard to the controversial finance bill that could likely make the already struggling Kenyans suffer even more.
With the fact that government does not lose, I also want to assure you that even the finance bill will pass. Government does not lose.
Some of the contentious issues in the bill include the introduction of 3% contribution by all employees to finance the affordable housing projects, an application to increase the turnover tax from 1% to 3%, and the increase in the VAT rate on petroleum products from 8% to 16% are among the suggested amendments within the finance bill that seemed to impact the livelihoods of many Kenyans who are now calling for a review before considerations.
Of our concern to us as employers is the shrinkage in the formal sector employment and our inability to create jobs in a country that desperately needs jobs for her youth. So that engagement is a strategy that FKE wants to have.
The bill has become the latest political dog whistle, with ODM leader Raila Odinga calling out government over the same.
Ulisema utalinda mahasla. Sasa mama mboga ananyanyaswa kwa mboga yake pale mpaka utoe ushuru. Kijana hasla ameanza biashara kidogo hii ya ICT, anatoza ushuru. Haya yote ni sababu sisi tumesema hiyo sio sawa. Ukisema tutoze ushuru, watu waketi chini, wazungumze, waelewane.
This comes even as the Coast Consortium of NGOs that include human rights activists and faith-based organizations have decried failing policies in existence supposed to drive a sustainable nation in matters of economy.
What we are seeing right now by the Hustler government through different approaches and avenues to overburden us with taxes, a country and citizenry that is already overburdened with taxes. Hiyo ni kitu ambayo itakuwa inatuumiza sisi kama wananchi.
Na ikiwa wabunge watajitia kichwa vigumu wapasishe huo mswada bungeni, tutatumia kipengele cha kuwarudisha nyumbani. We will call them back.
The activists have addressed the state of the nation, citing that increased taxation would influence more burden to the already struggling Kenyans, thus recommending a review before any considerations are done to debate the Finance Bill 2023. It is a wait and watch to see if MPs will stand with the struggling Kenyans or they will throw caution to the wind. Paul Muniu, TV 47, Mombasa.
And still on the same matters, Azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga has called for a review of tax proposals in the Finance Bill 2023, terming it as punitive to Kenyans. And as Apollo Kamau reports, Raila Odinga faulted the Kenya Kwanza regime for failing hustlers through high taxes. The opposition leader has now called for talks on the proposals on a day Kenya Kwanza vote to marshal its numerical strength in parliament to have the bill passed when the time comes.
The Finance Bill 2023, awaiting public participation and approval by Parliament, is proving to be an acid test for President William Ruto's regime, with opposition leader Raila Odinga faulting the Kenya Kwanza regime for forgetting its hustler support base that propelled them to power.
Ulisema watalinda mahasla. Sasa mama mboga ananyanyaswa kwa mboga yake pale mpaka utoe ushuru. Kijana hasla ameanza biashara kidogo hii ya ICT, anatoza ushuru.
Odinga, who spoke in Kiharo, Murang'a County, for the burial of former county governor Mwangi wa Iria's mother-in-law, called for a review of the tax proposals contained in the bill, most of them affecting majority of Kenyans, starting with a tax increment on fuel products from 8% to 16%.
Unaweza kukamua maziwa mpaka sasa maziwa hakuna, damu ndio inatoka kwa matiti. Ndio sababu sisi tumepinga ushuru ambayo inatoka hapa kwa wale mahasla. Tukisema hiyo ni mbaya, tumefanya makosa. Tumesema ushuru mkitaka tuelewani.
Despite the bill's unpopularity, Kenya Kwanza maintains it will marshal its numerical strength in Parliament to ensure the bill passes unopposed, whose impact will be felt in the coming financial year, starting July.
That as a leader in the National Assembly, I have an obligation to make sure that the government does not lose, even when it's unpopular, that it will not lose.
Odinga's return to the Mount Kenya region served as a campaign platform for former county governor Mwangi wa Iria, who harbors ambitions to succeed retired President Uhuru Kenyatta as the next Mount Kenya kingpin.
Mimi nataka kufanya siasa za kitaifa na mwalimu wangu wa kwanza atakuwa baba. Wewe baba unifundisha kabisa. Na uzibakishe lesson kidogo ili hata mimi niife nikuwe kama wao. Na pia nikuwe kiongozi wa Kikuyu. Huwezi kuwa kiongozi wa Kikuyu kama hujapitia kwa makabila zingine.
Wairia, who has positioned himself in Azimio's People Barazas, is facing stiff opposition from Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who harbors similar ambitions. Apol Kamau, TV47.
Let's pause politics for a bit now. The war against drug and substance abuse in the country is facing a myriad of challenges, with recent reports from NACADA indicating that children as young as 6 years are now using drugs. Alcohol is still the most commonly abused drug, with the Western region leading. And as Elizabeth Ateno now reports, the government, through the Ministry of Interior, wants drug and substance abuse cited as a collective public health crisis and not a criminal justice issue.
Tonight, drug and substance abuse remains a thorn in the flesh in Kenya. From cities to villages and even the informal settlement, no one has been spared. The burden is heavier on those residing in Nairobi, Western, Nyanza, Rift Valley and coastal regions.
As of today, we have made arrests of over 3,000 people. We have confiscated in excess of 2 million liters of illicit alcohol.
Currently, 4.7 million Kenyans are using at least one drug substance. What's more shocking is the increasing number of children who stagger and fall into the trap of drug abuse. According to the 2017-2022 survey launched by the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, NACADA, the average age category for initiation of tobacco is 6 years, for alcohol 7 years, while that of cannabis is 8 years. Children as young as 9 years are currently using khat, popularly known as miraa.
Now, 10-year-old sitting with their father drinking in an family outing is responsible. Peer influence.
Alcohol is still the most commonly abused drug, with 3.2 million Kenyans consuming the commodity. The number of Kenyans smoking tobacco is now at 2.3 million. Kenyans currently chewing miraa is 964,000. What's now worrying is the 90% increase in the number of Kenyans sniffing cannabis or weed.
But if you listen very carefully to Shakahola himself, he is not actually talking about the consumption. He is talking about marketing for its own industrial and medicinal benefits.
Western region is leading in alcohol prevalence at 23.8%, followed closely by the coastal and central regions at 13.9 and 12.8% respectively.
We have over 1 million people, actually that is just on the lower side, who are already addicted. Now how many rehabs can we build to accommodate that number?
Those aged between 25 to 35 years are said to be the largest consumers of alcohol, accounting for 14%, while those aged between 15 to 24 years account for at least 5.2%.
So these are the people that we expect to be the most productive and who are now in employment.
Nairobi County is leading in the uptake of manufactured legal alcohol. The Western region is leading in the uptake of chang'aa, with the Central region leading in the consumption of potable spirits, which are termed lethal.
When you look at Central, for example, you have the potable spirits being the most consumed in that area. And the level of poison in this is very bad. That's why a lot of people are being affected in their health and are having major issues.
These grim statistics have left respective stakeholders scratching their heads and gnashing their teeth as they seek to find a long-lasting solution to this menace, which they say is a ticking time bomb waiting to explode and destroy the future generation.
As Kenya, we want to be a working nation. So bars are not supposed to be open in the morning. And all these other potable spirit places of sale, the time is from 5 in the evening until 11.
The government, through the Ministry of Interior, is set to establish a reward program for top performers with a view to winning the war against illicit brew and drug abuse at the grassroots. The ministry has also vowed to crack the whip on law enforcement officers involved in the trade of illicit brew. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
Quite staggering statistics right there. Thank you, Liza Tinuflat. Now, preparations for the sender for freedom fighter Mukami Kimathi have finalized ahead of her burial on Saturday. Reporter Willie Dennis Njiru spent his day at her Njabini home and now files the following report.
It is all systems go at the home to the late Mau Mau freedom fighter Mukami Kimathi, as at this moment preparations are at top notch. Heightened security by joint multi-agency. Land movers working across to ensure there is ease of movement. At the graveside, final touches to the final resting place as the PS Internal Security Raymond Omolo paid an inspection visit.
We'll have a public viewing between 6 and 7 a.m. in the morning before the body leaves for Njabini for the burial.
The body is expected to leave Lee Funeral Home at 7 a.m. after an hour of body viewing to Njabini Home, as the locals are expected to synchronize the traffic escort at Flyover Junction.
We shall be receiving Mama at Flyover in the morning, escort her to this place, and the people of Nyandarua are very much concerned.
This auditorium tent anticipated to fill to capacity of 10,000 guests, among them state guests that include President, his deputy and the opposition leader.
We have a capacity to host over 10,000 members of the public, all seated at the tents, which are being put up, as you can see, on the backside. And we have adequate security arrangement to ensure that there is a free and easy flow of members of the public tomorrow's occasion.
Omolo adding that they are armed to the tooth for any eventualities to the unpredictable weather that has witnessed heavy downpours for past 3 days.
Yes, we are prepared. If it rains, we will still be able to conduct the ceremony as is expected. If it doesn't rain, the better. It will still go on. So we've made adequate arrangements to take care of that.
Relentlessly, leaders echo to the last call to the late Mukami to the government to ease the remains of his late husband for a decent burial by the family.
Kwa wakati ambao unafaa na kwa wakati ambao ya karibu sisi tukitarajia wanaweza kufukua mafupa ya Kimathi na yaletwe hapa Nyandarua yaweze kuzikwa. Haja yetu ni kuona kaburi ya Kimathi hapa azikwe katika mchanga ambaye ulifanya akaondoka katika ulimwengu huu. Walikuwa wakiomba Mungu wao, wanashika mchanga namna hii, mtu anapigwa risasi kama ameshika mchanga.
Alikuwa anauliza, nimeitisha government ya Kenyatta mwili ya bwana yangu, nimeitisha government ya Moi, government ya Kibaki, government ya Uhuru. Sasa Mungu wangu nisaidie niitishie huyu mwili, ni kwa sababu sitaki kuacha watoto wangu kwa shida na inchi, kwa sababu inchi imefungwa.
The answer ya mifupa ya Dedan Kimathi iko katika mikono ya Muingereza na serikali, kwa sababu kama tunasema alizikwa pale Kamiti, ni jukumu la serikali na serikali ina cooperate sana na Muingereza watupatie information kamili mahali grave iko ndio tuweze kutoa ile mifupa.
Reporting for TV 47 from Jabini, Nyandarua County, I'm Willie Dennis Njiru.
Sawa. And definitely we'll be giving you live coverage of that particular event tomorrow. Now to matters education, learning at Kabarnet School for learners who are living with a disability has been paralyzed following teachers and subordinate staff strike over unpaid salaries for get this 22 months. And as Violet Homer reports, parents are appealing to the government to intervene in the current standoff for the school to resume normalcy.
4 days after the schools across the country reopened for second term, the learners at Kabarnet School for learners who were deaf and blind are yet to know their fate after teachers and subordinate staffs went on strike demanding arrears of their salaries.
Nangojea kwamba serikali watatukumbuka, lakini mpaka sasa hivi pesa imekuwa mingi sana yenye tunadai serikali, mpaka tukasema ili watoto wakae na wazazi wao mpaka siku yenye serikali waweze kutusaidia kwa wajibu wetu.
They have to pay the workers every month because these families have to live every month, of course. Like me, like you, like all others, we have to earn the money. If we go to work, we have earn money every month.
Speaking to journalists, they said they have not been paid for 22 months, vowing not to resume to work until the demands are met.
And it is so unfortunate ya kwamba today should be a normal learning day kwa watoto wetu na kwa watoto wote Kenya. Lakini ukija deaf blind school, wanafunzi ambao wangekuwa saizi wako hapa wako nyumbani. Sababu ni nini? Ni kwamba wafanyikazi wa hapa hawajaweza kulipwa in arrears 22 months. Na kwa kweli hata kama ingekuwa ni mtu yeyote kutolipwa 22 months, huyu ni mzazi ako na watoto.
And the reason why shule hajafunguliwa because when the subordinate staff are not in school, it is like that school is not in operational.
The workers have decried poor working environment without pay despite dealing with physically challenged learners.
Wengi waliwacha kazi, wengine walienda hata sijui walienda wapi wakawa wagonjwa, kuna hata wenye wako wagonjwa nyumbani. Kwa challenges ya pressure, diabetes, kwa shida ya hii shule.
Hawawezi kujisaidia. Kama mwingine hana macho, hana masikio, yote pamoja. Lazima ushike, upeleke mahali anaenda na urudishe mahali anaweza kukaa. Anaweza kaa nje na inyeshe, hawezi jipeleka mahali iko kifuli na tumekoma.
The school, which is the only one in Eastern Central Africa and a home to the blind and deaf, has since been closed indefinitely following the strike.
Wewe mwenyewe machoko kweli, kama ukiona mtoto kama huyu, wewe utasema aje? Kama ingekuwa ni mtoto yako ama ni mtoto wa jirani yako, utasemaje kwa huyu mtoto mwenye amewachwa nyumbani na amewachwa bila msaidizi yeyote?
The parents are now appealing to the government to address the workers' grievances urgently.
Sasa wana ile moyo ya kusaidia watu wachalipwa. Tukiona serikali wangelipa hawa ndio wapata moyo wa kusaidia watoto wetu. Juu hawa watoto bila wafanyakazi hakuna kitu watasaidiwa. Hakuna penye watasaidiwa kwa.
Reporting for TV47, I'm Violet Auma.
Elsewhere, 2 suspects who have been arrested in Kitengela on charges of car theft are expected to be arraigned in the Kajara courts Saturday. This even as sleuths from the DCI continue their investigations to arrest more suspects who have been terrorizing motorists in Kitengela and parts of Nairobi County. Following a tip-off from the public, sleuths from the Directorate of the Criminal Investigations, DCI in Kitengela branch, Kajiado County, made their way to this garage to nab stolen vehicles. According to the officer in charge of DCI Kitengela, Benson Motie, the garage owner was found changing some parts of 2 Toyota vehicles of the Axio model before giving information that led to the arrest of another suspect who had brought the vehicle to the garage.
Na wakati unaonji mwenye workshop katika hiyo tukiwa hapo katuambia hizo gari ni za mteja wake ameleta zisifanywe kazi, lakini ile vitu ilikuwa inaendelea, ile tupata akiendelea ilikuwa anabadilisha some parts, that is anatoa kama ni modding anaweka kwa hii gari ndio sasa ipoteze identity.
Motie further noted that the suspects used self-made number plates that are not recognized by the National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA), which poses as a threat to genuine motor vehicle owners.
Kwa hivyo ni kumaanisha hizi gari hizo number plate ndio zinatumika aidha kufanya uhalifu. Sasa wewe ukipatikana badala tukifuata mwizi, kumbe tunafuata the wrong person. Sasa hizo number plates zingine